To order the December 1st public hearing for the City of Tampa's Architectural Review Commission. Welcome, everyone. I'm Ted Kempton, Chair of the Commission. If you are here to present a project, you will have limited time to make your presentation, so we suggest being thorough but concise. When coming to the microphone, you will need to identify yourself and your relationship to the project. The commissioners will not ask any questions during your presentation. Your project should be presented in the following order: site plan, elevations, architectural details, wall sections. Staff will then present their report. We will then ask for public comment. Please state and spell your name clearly if you are here to speak for or against a project. Your time will be limited to 3 minutes, so take some time now to summarize your comments because 3 minutes goes by very quickly. Following public comment, the commissioners will ask questions in the same order as the presentation. Next, the applicant will have 5 minutes for rebuttal. The public hearing will then be closed. After the public hearing is closed, no further testimony can be given. The commissioners will then discuss the case and will make their decision based on Chapter 27 of the City Code of Ordinances, the design guidelines, the Secretary of Interior standards, Historic Preservation Development Review Committee comments, and the testimony given at the public hearing. The ARC can only act on items that are within our specific jurisdictional responsibility. Owner agents are independently responsible to obtain any appropriate permits and/or approvals. If you haven't already done so, please silence cell phones. I'll start with on my left for introduction of commissioners.
Good evening. I'm Carol Post. I'm the public policy representative. Thank you.
I'm John Prokop. I practice architecture.
Dan Myers, I'm an architect.
Tim Jones, I'm a contractor.
In addition, in attendance tonight, we have Elaine Lund with the City of Tampa, Jared Varnum with the City of Tampa, and our attorney, Dana Crosby Collier. Okay, so we need a motion to review and approve the minutes.
I move to accept the minutes from November 3rd and November 5th.
Okay.
Second.
All right, we have a second. Seeing no discussion, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
The motion passes unanimously.
Okay. Good evening, Commissioners. Elaine Lund, Historic Preservation staff. This evening, we do have just a few announcements before we move into the Preservation in Progress segment of our agenda. You have in your packets the staff approvals for October and November 2025 for your review, and those should be received and filed along with the remaining submitted documents and exhibits at the end of the hearing. Also in your packet this evening is the bricks and mortar newsletter for December 2025. So with that, I will move into our Preservation in Progress segment. We are continuing to celebrate the upcoming anniversary of Ybor City. It's 140th anniversary celebration, which will take place in 2026. So tonight we are looking at El Centro Español de Tampa at 1532 East 7th Avenue in the Ybor City Local Historic District. The building pictured here is the second clubhouse for El Centro Español, which still stands today at its site on 7th Avenue. El Centro Español faces 7th Avenue at the intersection of 16th Street. The organization has occupied this site since its first building was constructed here in 1892. And on your screen, you can see the 1895 Sanborn Company map showing that particular building at that location at the corner of 7th and 16th, and labeled the Spanish Casino. The current building is contributing to the local and national Ybor City historic districts, and it is also individually recognized as a National Historic Landmark, as it is considered to have a high exceptional value in its role in the history of the United States, and it retains a high degree of of its historic physical integrity. Today, the building anchors the Centro Ybor complex, and you can see the present-day aerial photograph there and the entry off 7th Avenue on the right side of the screen. El Centro Español de Tampa was established and chartered in 1891 based on models of similar societies found in Cuba and New Orleans. The organization was backed by cigar manufacturers, including Ignacio Haya, who donated the plot of land at 7th Avenue for their building. Haya, along with Enrique Pendas and Adalberto Ramirez, drafted the bylaws for El Centro Español as a society for recreation and instruction. Its primary purpose, according to the first article, was to provide instruction and honest recreation to its members, whom it will protect by all means at its disposal from the contingencies to which they may be exposed due to their national condition, provided that they are not caused by unfavorable conduct or facts. The bylaws also provided that to enter the society, it is necessary that the applicant be Spanish by race and sentiments or sympathize loyally with Spain and its prestige in America. The first building for El Centro Español was designed by C.E. Parcell, and it was completed in 1892. A newspaper account at the time described the building as sumptuous and noted its 2 towers and the continuous balcony that ran between them. The account also described the interior and its spaces for a small library and legal games, such as billiards, chess, and dominoes, along with the auditorium and its removable chairs, which allowed for dancing. The provision of mutual aid benefits was discussed during El Centro's early years, and even a small portion of land was purchased for use as a cemetery in the 1890s. However, the topic was revived again in 1903 after the newly chartered Centro Asturiano de Tampa began offering medical benefits to the local Spanish community. Since El Centro Español did not do so at the time, they began to lose members to Centro Asturiano. So soon Centro Español offered health as well as burial benefits, and the 2 organizations would never reconcile and merge, however. The larger cemetery for El Centro Español was purchased in 1904, and its plat was recorded in 1905. Additionally, El Centro Español built a hospital. The cornerstone for the Sanitario del Centro Español was laid in 1904, and the hospital opened to serve its members in early 1906. Located on Bayshore Boulevard, the facility provided surgical treatment and other care for its members. The hospital closed this location in 1970, and the building was razed in 1973. So, in 1907, property owners in West Tampa offered El Centro Español land to build a clubhouse in their city, as West Tampa was a different city from the city of Tampa at the time. So in 1911, the board of directors determined that they did in fact need a new and larger clubhouse, and that they would build 2, so one in Ybor City and one in West Tampa. The new clubhouse on 7th Avenue was built on the same site as the original, and it was inaugurated on November 2nd, 1912. The building, designed by local architect Francis J. Kennard, featured administrative offices, a cantina, a theater, a ballroom, and a library, with the downstairs and upstairs spaces joined by a majestic marble staircase. In West Tampa, El Centro Español de West Tampa was inaugurated 2 months later in January 1913. This building, located at Howard Avenue and Cherry Street, was designed by Fred J. James, who designed several buildings in the West Tampa area. So earlier this year, fast forwarding to 2025, lightning struck El Centro Español, damaging the pier supporting one of the spherical finials at the roofline of the building on 7th Avenue. In order to repair this architectural element and ensure the safety of all involved, All Trades Reconstruction developed a rigging and plan to remove the sphere so that the pier could be inspected and properly repaired. The rigging plan required the use of a crane and the barricading of the area, including the crane's swing radius and landing zone. The sphere was strapped into a sling and the pier was secured so that no debris would fall below during the sphere's removal. Once all the debris was cleared, the steel post attaching the sphere was cut and then the sphere was lifted and lowered to the ground. Unfortunately, the original sphere was not able to be reused, so a replica is being fabricated to match the original cast stone element while the masonry repairs to the pier are being completed. We hope to bring you an update on the conclusion of this soon. At this time, this is some of the most recent photos that we have of the project. So Center Espanola is also featured in this month's Bricks and Mortar newsletter, and that concludes our Preservation in Progress segment for this month.
Thank you very much.
Good evening, Dana Crosby Collier from the Legal Department. With the conflict of interest part of our agenda, I'd like to ask if any member has a conflict of interest with any item on the agenda this evening.
I have none.
Thank you. Has any member engaged in ex parte communication regarding any item on the agenda this evening?
I have not.
Thank you.
Commissioners, this evening we do have one continuation that is not reflected on the agenda. We received a late request for ARC 25-0000463, 2804 North Central Court for a continuation to a future public hearing date, with the applicant being required to renotice. So we will need a motion to approve that continuation
Do we have a date? Oh, you're saying that.
to a future public hearing,
okay.
yes.
All right, looking for a motion.
So moved.
All right.
Second.
Got a second? Not seeing any discussion? All in favor? Signify by saying yes or aye.
Aye.
The motion passes unanimously.
Thank you. And with that, we can move to the swear-in.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you provide today is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
You do? Thank you. Moving to the first item on the agenda, we are tonight looking at ARC-25-00000280 for the property located at 504 East Giddens Avenue. This is in the Seminole Heights Local Historic District. And the application that you'll be reviewing is for new construction of an accessory structure and site improvements. This application has been before you before and was continued to this evening. I will move directly into the photo presentation then. So this, on your screen, we can see the map of the Seminole Heights Historic District. The property in question, its location is highlighted in green. It's just south of Hillsborough Avenue, 1 block to the south, and is one parcel away from the interstate, from Interstate 275. The building located on the site is a contributing building. The primary structure is a contributing building. You can see it here on the 1920s Sanborn map. And you can see at that time there was a accessory structure there on the property. Again, this is on Giddens Avenue, and it is just east of Central Avenue and south of Hillsborough Avenue. This is the present-day aerial map of the site, again with the property in question in green. Here you can see the proximity to the interstate. The red line indicates the boundary of the local historic district, and the blue line indicates the boundary of the National Historic District. So you can see how the National Historic District was drawn to incorporate only the contributing buildings in this area. So the property just to its east, which is a non-contributing building, is, while in our local district, is not in the national district. And the same goes for the property directly behind the subject site, which is an automotive repair shop. And you can also see the proximity to Hillsborough Avenue to the north. This is the existing building on the site at 504 East Giddens Avenue, a wood frame bungalow house. This is the south elevation. Moving around the building, this is the east elevation. And then this is the west side, or the west elevation of the existing building. And the rear. This is the property directly to the east, non-contributing structure. This is the contributing property to the south. And then this is the view looking east on Giddens Avenue toward the interstate. And the view looking west along Giddens towards Central Avenue, with the subject site would be on your right. And then this is the alley that runs along the west side of the property. You can see some cars in the distance there. It's notable that those cars are actually in the parking lot of the property to the north. They're not it's not Hillsborough Avenue traffic you're seeing there. And that's another view looking north in the alley. And then this is the view looking south in the alley, back toward Giddens Avenue. And then just for reference, this is the view looking from Hillsborough Avenue south, so that you can see what the conditions are at that site just behind the subject property. So with that, we will move forward with the applicant making the presentation and presenting his request. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Thomas Miller. I'm representing Marvin Hunt, property owner. I would like to start off with the site plan. Got the document here. Okay, the proposed position of the ADU on the property is going to be on the northeast side. And here, I know we had a slight issue before where it was positioned at before. We also added for lack of a better word, a 3-car, I guess there's no word for tandem, but 3-car on a Hollywood strip concrete pads coming up to the side of the house, which we had enough width and length on that. The show you the elevation. Elevation, stem wall, concrete, smooth with the hardy board, cement is 5 inches. What else? There was a question last time concerning this awning roof. In the detail, it's going to be a 6x6 post, 2x12 awning on the front entry there. We have wooden louvers to match, everything but match the existing main home. What else did we? Yeah, thank you. Pitch. 1 second here. We also had a question concerning, before, just to go back, on the site plan, it's not indicated, but that's a, actually AC pad in the rear of the home. The roof is a shingle roof, which the main structure also has a shingle roof with open rafters. It'd be an open eave as well to match the existing home. Still more. This is the wall section. I think we had the wall, incorrect wall section last time. So this is the proper nail pattern slash wall section, the scale that was missing from the last preview with the hardy board, lintels and all the tie-ins. For the windows are one second, I do have it here. PGT windows. Single home windows. 5400. 3 glazed, 3-panel windows. The door is a thermal true composite, wooden composite door. Similar to match the existing main structure of the home. Exterior lighting front and rear. And this is proposed wooden fits for the perimeter to be screened in the property of the ADU on the back of the home. So I think one of the issues was the parking, which we covered. And also, I think it was mentioned before, we did capture that rear alleyway as well. It's been captured, so it's just open. There's nothing behind it besides the auto shop. It's 896 square foot ADU. I think that's it. Covered everything that was an issue from last time. We kind of revised the site plan to make everything, for everything fit. And I think this is a much better layout of what it is that Mr. Hunt's trying to do.
Great. Thank you very much. Okay.
Commissioners, moving to the staff report, Elaine Lund, Historic Preservation staff. We found this application to be consistent with conditions with the Seminole Heights design guidelines. And we did request that the applicant address a few items at the hearing this evening. I would perhaps suggest that you walk through the material selection on the, on the wall section, just to be clear on everything that's proposed. But the, our position, our staff position is that, this particular project does replicate or does take a few design elements from the main primary contributing structure, including the clipped gable at the front. They are intending to do the exposed rafter tails, and the materials would be newer, more modern materials. So there would not be any confusion there that it was actually a historic building itself. We did request that the applicant show the proposed fencing and gates on the site plan. I believe that still needs to be updated. He did show the proposed new fencing material. I would like to note that fencing is usually something that we do a review for at the staff level, so that's not a concern for the staff. And then finally, I just need to note that in your packets, there was a letter that was received from the owners at 502 East Hillsborough Avenue. And I think at the last hearing, there was some questions about the location of the, that particular address. So I just wanted to make sure that that's shown to you on the, on this presentation here real quick. If we go back to the aerial, 502 East Hillsborough Avenue is the Starbucks that's located at the northeast corner of Central Avenue and Hillsborough Avenue there. And if you, let's see, if I move through these pictures quickly here, we can get to an image of that for you. We have the alley shots there. This is the automotive center directly behind the subject site, and then this is the Starbucks that's, if you're looking north from Hillsborough Avenue, you would see that there. So with that, I'm available for any questions you might have. Thank you.
Great, thank you very much. All right, seeing no one in the audience, we will skip the public comment and move on to questions from commissioners, starting on my right.
Can you pull up the site plan again for me, please?
Yes, sir.
Okay, on the rear of the new ADU, on your site plan, you're not showing the landing and the stairs going off the back of that ADU, but on your plans, you show a 3-foot landing with stairs going out the rear, which will put you off your property line. The door that's on the back of the ADU.
Right.
So on this, you're showing that your ADU is 3 foot off of your property line.
Correct.
But on your floor plans, you're showing the rear door has a landing outside of it with steps.
It has a 4-foot landing.
So yeah,
As stated before, that probably needs to be adjusted, but we did acquire that alleyway, so we do have that room as far as.
there's an alleyway behind the property?
Yes, there's an alleyway behind the property.
And that's been
That's been captured, correct.
Oh, that needs to be shown on your site plan then, because
Okay.
that's an extra 10 foot.
Correct. Okay.
Okay. The roofing material, what roofing material are you going to use?
Just doing asphalt shingles,
3-tab, dimensional?
dimensional.
Okay. And the new driveway is just going to be concrete?
Yes,
Your new 2-ribbon? Okay. That's all my questions. Thank you.
thank you.
I have no questions at this time.
The site plan question was the only question I had, so I have no questions.
Hey, good evening. Thank you for making the adjustments to the parking. I recall this case had the parking positioned between the primary and the accessory, so I think this is more suitable to the site. I do have a number of questions, though, just to make sure we understand what you've laid out here. So today you have paving in the front yard where 2 cars are parked. So presumably that paving goes away.
Correct.
And you create a paved drive on the left side of the parcel. Presumably you have sufficient space to, width-wise, to not encroach into the alley. The alley will remain in effect to
Correct.
the left, okay? And maybe just commingling some staff questions. So it's showing, the notation indicates parking for 2 cars, but it's showing 3. Is the requirement for 3 vehicles or 2?
There is a requirement for the additional parking space for the accessory dwelling unit that they're proposing.
So that's incorporated into the 3 spaces here. Does the site plan need to indicate that as parking for 3 cars then? Because it references 2, that little notation below the lower car.
Yeah, that's something that we can make sure is corrected.
Okay. And do we weigh in on the materials for that driveway? I mean, this sort of depicts it as pavers, or is it going to be fully paved, or is it decorative?
My
Do we know?
understanding, my understanding, Commissioner, is that it is showing concrete paving that's scored every 3 feet for the ribbons, and then solid concrete pads for the parking spaces.
Okay, so that's in the plans, maybe I just missed that. Okay. And then presumably, well, I don't want to presume it, I'm asking, the concrete that is currently in the front yard, that's removed and replaced with landscaping? Is there a landscaping plan? Does that come
We have
through
to
the
do, I think,
department?
25% of the 6,534 for as landscaping.
But what will be there? Is it will just be grass? Will there be, I see it looks like the walkway from the sidewalk, is that a new addition? I don't think that exists today. So is everything from
There are
the right-of-way to
A
the
walkway with
home?
pavers that exist today. I believe it's walkway
Can we
with
see
pavers.
the image of that front yard again? Do you mind? And I think these things are fine to go through staff. I just want to make sure they're represented somewhere. I didn't see any record of.
The
Okay,
pavers.
so there you go. So you have but a portion of it, okay, so that pavement goes away and then just is replaced with grass?
Correct.
Sod? Okay. Great. And just last question for you, well, maybe it's more for staff. Have staff referenced a few specific requirements around including items like all of the steps and walkways, the fencing, the gates? I think you referenced that all of that is coming your way, or we don't see it all yet? Question to staff, sorry.
Okay. On the site plan, do still need to be some alterations for the proposed site plan to make sure that it is consistent with what is actually being proposed, yes. So that
Okay.
would, I believe they're showing the location for the mechanicals, it's just not labeled as such. And then the concrete pads, steps and walkways, I believe are, maybe except for the steps in the rear are shown.
I think your staff report referenced that being changed to be a window, but now tonight we're hearing it's going to stay as a exit door with a landing.
Correct.
And again, maybe this is to staff, just curious, it didn't look like there was an alley back there, but was that vacated? It
There is a
says
platted
captured.
alley, and it has been vacated, and the building just to the north does encroached into the alley, so there really wasn't much of an alley to vacate, I guess. But yes, the building behind it does come up nearly to, I believe, where the property line would be if, you know, with the alley evenly divided between the two parcels.
So is that property owner going to have to vacate some portion of where they're encroaching now to give this owner sufficient space to push that landing and that exit stair into?
I do not think so, no.
Okay.
I think everything works out just
Okay.
perfectly there.
Second gate.
And just out of curiosity, the auto repair shop appears they're parking in the north-south alley, dead ending into Hillsborough, or has that been vacated?
That portion of the alley has not been vacated. This condition has been there
They're encroaching.
for quite some time,
Okay.
so.
Okay, thank you. Oh, I'm sorry, I did have one more question about the objection letter. You know, I always try to be respectful of someone taking the time to weigh in on their opinion. In this case, I find it a bit of a stretch as to how this will impact. I just wondered if staff had any other communication with this party other than the letter that was submitted.
We have not, no.
Okay, great, thank you.
This is a question for the applicant. Back to this alley, I understand it's been vacated. So how much extra room did you gain on your share of the vacated
It's
alley?
about 10 foot.
So you gained 10 feet. Okay, so then the site plan just needs to be
Needs to
adjusted.
be, yeah.
I'm having a hard time seeing where the proposed fence is gonna go.
This is it now. We'll just take it back because it's not showing what's captured.
So
at
you're
this
gonna be on
point
the
in time.
property line?
Correct,
And on all sides?
correct.
Okay. And is there a vinyl fence there now?
Yes, sir.
And you're gonna take that out,
Correct.
replace it
And
with
put
wood?
a
Okay.
decorative wooden fence.
So that third car, which would be the most northern car, where is the fence in relation to that car?
The fence doesn't start until up here.
Oh, okay. All right. All right, well then, we're
So
just gonna
it's
need to.
clear.
We'll just need to clarify that, when that. And then, again, could you put your elevations up? I think staff had mentioned the column materials. I don't know if I heard that for that entry there, for the overhang. What are
It's
the?
gonna be a 6x6 post.
Okay. Okay, you went over that. Okay, I don't have any further questions. Okay, you have 5 minutes for rebuttal if you feel like you need it. Okay, perfect. All right, with that being said, we're gonna close the public portion of the hearing and move on to discussion.
I'm looking on the staff report under previous actions, and it doesn't show a vacated alleyway.
Well, that wouldn't have come to us.
But normally we have zoning, things like that. Is that correct?
I had the same question.
Yeah.
Dana Crosby Collier, City Attorney's Office. I don't have any history on the vacation of that alley, but I do know that zoning in the DRC process reviewed this and had no objection to the plan. But I don't know, perhaps Elaine knows what year it was vacated?
Okay. So, but we don't have anything legal saying, yes, it's, we're
Well,
taking-
we have staff
Staff
saying it's been
testified that
vacated.
it had been vacated.
Okay.
Was it a 20-foot alley or a 10-foot alley?
They're normally 20-foot alleys, and they split them half and half.
Yeah.
I know, 'cause I just
I was
yeah.
just gonna, I just
Yeah.
wanted to clarify, because the applicant said that there was,
You gained 10 feet.
10
that he
foot.
gained 10 feet.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
okay.
Okay.
I think that the plans need to be revised and more details, so on and so forth, but I think it's something that staff can take care of. There's nothing outlandish, I don't think.
Any other comments?
Not really. I think it's a minor thing, as long as the space is there and the air conditioning system is not within the setback, you know, if the additional land has been granted,
Well,
and all of it is, you know,
again, I think in the motion, it can be stipulated that if for some reason there's not enough space in the back, it can move towards the south 2
building.
feet.
Yeah, move towards,
You know,
yeah.
I mean, they've got the room, it's got 20 feet there,
Yeah,
so.
Plenty of room, yeah.
Okay, any other comments? Someone wanna, looks like we have a winner.
Uh-oh, here I go. Move to grant a certificate of appropriateness for the drawings and documents presented at this public hearing in ARC 25-000280 for the property located at 504 East Giddens with the following conditions: that the site plan will be resubmitted, illustrating the changes to the lot size based on the land acquired through the vacation of the alley, and that if there are any difficulties dimensionally with that addition, that the accessory dwelling unit can be slid toward the primary dwelling unit a couple of feet in order to cure that difficulty. And the fence, and there are various details, including the fence, that needs to be reviewed by staff, and the and okay, the hardscape and softscape also on that site plan, and then make clear the materials that are being called out on the building section.
And
Yes,
one
Dana.
more thing, if I might add, correct the site plan to reflect there are 3 parking spaces.
Yes, and to correct the written information on the site plan where you are showing the 3 cars. Because, based upon the finding of fact, the proposed project is consistent with Seminole Heights Historic District design guidelines of the city of Tampa for the following reasons: that it respects the dominant materials in the historic district, that it is that its proportions are appropriate, and that the orientation and site coverage are also appropriate.
Second?
Okay, we have a second. For the applicant, did you understand the conditions, and do you agree with the conditions?
yes, sir.
Okay, great. All right, so we have a second. Motion,
Just one point of clarification, do we need to specify removal of that concrete parking pad? I think we mentioned it, but just to be specific, removal of the
The hardscape to
concrete
be
parking
replaced
pad, replaced
with grass
sod.
or sod.
Yes,
Okay.
thank you.
okay, do you have an issue
I-
with that?
No, I have no issue.
Okay. So we have a motion for approval with conditions. Any other discussion? Okay. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion passes unanimously. Congratulations, good luck with the project. And then I'm looking for a motion to receive and file submitted documents and exhibits.
So moved.
Second?
All right, second, no discussion. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Motion passes, and this hearing is adjourned. Thank you, everyone.